Good day, everybody. Brian here from quantlabsnet.com. Just wanted to go over some of the latest changes I'm using as part of a selection process as I'm about to go live trading. A couple things I have now done. I have shown this dashboard before. So basically, what it does is I can load in all the latest data. Today is the 15th of November. So this data was generated yesterday, so it's pretty fresh. Um, Same process I'm going to go through to load it in. We don't need to really worry about individual backtesting performance. I'll show you the walk forward, which I've shown before, but more importantly is we've got this new thing called a PDF report. So this will go out and generate a report. So in actual fact, I've got that report available. So this is pretty well what it generates right here. So in this case, we have um, the best performing with a walk forward analysis over the next, let's say, month. So what it's going to say is, let's say it's going to say the micro Canadian US dollar is going to do well. Uh, and the 6Z, which is the South African Rand, and so on. But I've said this before, which is very, very critical, is when you look at the file size of some of these, the file size of the raw files I just showed you have to be a certain amount. So the only one that's doable in this is you go farther down the list. When you generate this and do, let's say, a walk forward, the only one that looks investable, we'll call it, with a future and an option is something like this one right here, the M6E. So the markets are down. They're really flat lately or losing. So the euro seems to be uh, an okay one that has some volume behind it. You can see here it's generating a projected 1.13 total return. Don't know if I trust that, but the point here is when you look at the file size, that matters because when you look at the M6E, let's say the M6A of the micro Australian dollar versus the uh, micro euro. See the difference of the size; it's almost 10 times bigger. Um, so that matters. So as an example, um, what I could show you is there's just not enough trading data to work with. Uh, Let me just see if I can. Or no, I can't do it. Anyways, so there's some stuff there to be aware of that volume matters. Okay, so what I've gone ahead was we have this new uh, PDF that I can use. I've done lots of experimentation on this. Um, Gives a pretty decent explanation on why this and why that, in a summary, if it is tradable based on volume. But it's very difficult to generate detailed secret sauce stuff for Quant and trade it if there's no back tested data enough for testing. If you can build an automated trading script for it. So you have to, again, everything comes back down to volume, if there's enough volume. All right, so let me show you one of the examples that I was able to generate. Um, so in here, the only one I was able to do was this one right here, the micro uh, euro. So let me run this. Now you'll notice it's in actually in HTML or JavaScript. So instead of me generating it with AI, instead of the Python Streamlit, I've known for a while that the best language out of all of them to generate is the with JavaScript because it's more advanced and it works much better. So let me just present you one example here. So this is an actual working one. All the same metrics that we're used to. If I put in the appropriate file of the M6E, um, project it, do a walk forward test. This is actually, I got it working. So you can see here, we have here total trades. So this is back tested now. So we had some decent performance and it dropped off. Okay, this is with a $100,000 account, and this is the back the the back tested data, and then it dropped down to here, uh, and then will it recover? Kind of like that gold trade a few weeks ago. So here we have the drawdown as well. The drawdown when it comes to currency is not so bad, but it can be very serious if you add on the leveraging. You don't expect that kind of drawdown. So here's a walk forward analysis. The problem here is you can see it's pretty negative. Um, Average return of being negative, consistency, best period. It's just not a good opportunity to trade in, um, unless you do the opposite type of trading. And this is built in with the suggested quantitative strategies that a lot of the firms use. So let me show you as an example. Okay, so this group here is a private group. Only my Quant Leap programming members get this. This is why it's valuable now. I'm just kind of experimenting how to kind of format and present this. So I've already shown you the new PDF that I'm going to work with here. This one right here. So that's that. The next thing is what I'm planning to do is to showcase the detail, okay, the detail of these. So as an example, I can add in here. In this case, is the PDF of the detailed quant stuff. Now, this looks better in a PDF because you'll see all the mathy stuff. So this is just generated by one of the advanced AI that I can do that. This is specifically for Euro, specifically for today, using that data file and forecasting the best available quantitative technique using high frequency trading in mind as well as the quant. So here you can see it's going to do all the math for you. So just alone on this is very good to learn about iceberg orders. You can see here very, very low level stuff. Some of it's very advanced, I have to admit. Um, Even just to learn it, it's really good. So you can see here, it's breaking down all of the formulas used for this particular instant. And you can see right here, it's now mentioning more and more about FPGA hardware. It gets bizarre. So here's some more formulas. Always mention about the um, gamma hedging, or sorry, the gamma extracting, which is seems to be pretty popular among the uh, AI. This is very advanced Chinese AI. They just upgraded it a lot. So these are all the different formulas. Bushan Propagator. I've never heard of these, but just from a reverse engineering is very good. One of the reasons I present it in PDF because it comes back with a lot of charts, which don't look good in my anything in my blog or group postings. So I just left it as a PDF for an attachment. I mentioned about the VPIN before. We can see this is all very specific when it comes to low latency, well, really ultra low latency with an FPGA board there. These are the triggers for entries and exits. So this one's specifically for market making. Um, Personally, I can't do a whole lot with it, but as I said, this is very valuable. Funny thing is here, um, we talk about FPGA now. Now, because it's so advanced, here's the board it recommends: the Xilinx Alveo U250. You can look up the price. Um, Not just that, but you're also getting proposed VHDL code, which is proprietary to Xilinx. So you now get that with the actual algorithm. I mean, that's rare. Like that's unheard of. Then it goes back into the Greek analysis. Is really meant for options, as I've said before. All the trigger points, all the different conditions that can happen with 50 millisecond burst on the exchange. Um, all the different because I have people now hounding me about arbitrage opportunities. So this is one example, but at low latency, a very low latency. Now, can this be done at a retail? No. And it does some of the AI and some of the JavaScript HTML presented will put out in big yellow. This is dangerous. Don't do it. But again, that's okay. We're not trading it yet, but we're just waiting for the right conditions to come about for the quant stuff and be able to test it. So here we go again with the regulatory arbitrage opportunity. Um, Here's the data that you need. Again, right here, this is what the HFT shops are using and doing. And again, this particular one I've mentioned before, the Chinese one's been upgraded like at a level I've not seen before, and it's very advanced now, where it's actually giving you code. So you have to ask yourself, why am I spending this kind of money on like AI? If you're going in with open source, that's useless. If you're going in with older versions of LLMs, useless because you need to have the latest version of LLMs to be able to generate this level of code. I've looked at now, just so you know, I've looked at olama.com as an opportunity. I've looked at the other one of LM Studio. I'm going to be honest with you right now. This will not work on any of these environments because from what I've tested, because the prompting is so detailed, the results being brought back through an API, it seems to, for a lot of reasons, which in a very, very highly unpredictable way, it is timing out. And I think that has something to do with the memory and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just a waste of time for me to go that path. So I'd rather just continue doing what I'm doing now to generate this. Be able to get these kind of numbers through um, an API using AI. Tried many different uses yesterday to try to didn't get anything. It was a real waste of time. There was a recommendation to use LangChain. LangChain's a waste as well because it's so bloated. If I had a rig to do it, I may consider it. But again, it comes back to always having to upgrade the latest and greatest. So I'd rather just continue doing what I'm doing. It's easier. I don't want to focus my time wasting away on upgrading the latest of this and that and all the complications to do it just to save, $100, $100 a month to generate this on the fly through an app. So again, yeah, this is very, very, very powerful. So as I said, we've run the application. Um, and I could do the same level of detail in the quant, but to be truthful, there's really no point doing it because I'm spending money to generate the testing and the coding of it. And to be truthful, when you get come back with negative results on the walk forward analysis, it's not really worth pursuing. So for me right now, well, especially with the way the markets are on the 15th of November, as I said, um, yeah, you need to find highly profitable because I don't want to go into an environment of shorting. Shorting is very risky, as far as I'm concerned, especially coming in as a newbie with these new ideas. So it's just something I'm not interested in doing. So I need to find something uh, where there is a longing opportunity, but not just that, but it actually has enough volume. So I just wanted to highlight all that. Okay. It's very important to understand that. So here we do get the recommendations of what to trade combined, but when you look at these the unfortunately the opportunities uh, right now are just either flat or negative. So it's not an easy process as one would think. Um, but this PDF can be very useful. So, for instance, if I go in and look at individual analysis on, let's say, M6E that I showed you, let's just see that I've done this before. So remember, there's the micro and the full contract size of the actual um, instrument that you're interested in. So we're looking for M6E. There it is. And again, we're using December contracts, so there might be some issues around that. So now we're able to see the the back test of this. And again, this goes all the way back to probably mid to actually right there. It's only 2 weeks worth. So it's not enough data either. But what you can see here on the forecasting, it does look legit since last 4 days, where it is moving up. So maybe there's some legitimacy there. That's just on the raw price. Um, so we have here, as I said before, all the different market technical indicators to use, but there might be some opportunity. The problem is you don't know if this move up on a minute basis is sustainable or not. That's the question. But you can see what's happening here with the HFT shops. They're definitely getting involved because how do I know that? It's because right here, this is the RSI, and then the RSI is starting to move here as well. So those are opportunities, right? So here's one of the potential strategies. This one's on a moving average crossover. The tiny little performance, not much worth pursuing. The metrics are not very good. See here under the detail, number of trades, da da da. So it's all negative. This could be encouraging. I don't know. I'm still new at this, to be truthful. But let's just take a look at another one that based upon the walk forward. So here we have the Z3N. That's a Bollinger Band reversal, simple strategy. That's again projected. So that is, what was it? That is Z3N. So let's check her out. Z3M. So these were recently generated right there. So I'll bring back these. This is the highest projected. So yeah, there's been nothing brewing here. Um, yeah, nothing at all. It's not. So again, just getting used to the process of what is worth looking into. Um, the other one that I did play with was where's the walk forward? Yeah, walk forward here, or actually in the PDF right here. So this one, the other one that really attracted my attention was this one right here, was the M6A. That's the Australian micro. Let's see that one. So when it comes to anything like treasury or currency, is not a lot of movement. You do have to rely a lot on volatility to get any kind of growth, unless you're willing to put leverage on. So here, again, so this is a little, well, November 11th here. Okay. So there was growth, but it just died off, went flat again. Okay. This is not a lot of excitement there. Um, I don't know. It's just trying to figure out where, like, what's moving, like KE. I can't remember what KE is. I haven't looked at KE before, just as an example. That's going to be a big contract. That I know. So right here, let's just see what this is. So that's wheat. That's going to be probably pretty expensive. You can see here the price has gone down. It's gone negative again. Same problem. But what it's suggesting is whatever strategy there might be opportunity there, but I don't see that. Uh, but this is the whole point. You got to go through volume. The markets is just not looking that great overall. Here we have the Japanese yen. I would say yes on the Japanese yen. We have here heating oil. Uh, there might be opportunities there. I looked at gas. There's not enough volume here. Let me just do both of those, heating oil and gas. So let me do first the heating oil. So that would be this one here. See what happens. I mean, it would make sense if there's some growth. Yeah, you can see the price um, has gone up right here. So it has moved up from 250 to 256. Not a lot, but it might start to move up. So that's why I was interested in gas. Um, so I don't know. But this is using a moving average crossover. It got killed. So let's see here. Total return, annual return. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's not that appealing. That's heating oil. The other one was Arby. So you could kind of play with all these and just figure out what's worth trading. The markets have been clobbered pretty good. So here, this is the RB. Yeah, you can see it's gone down negative. Um, MACD is starting to show some signs there. I know one that has been moving up is oil, but for whatever reason, oil's not getting listed here. Uh, so what I could do is just try to see if there is oil. Let's see, it's CL. Yeah, right here. Let's see what happens here for oil. There was a bit of a spike yesterday, so that might be something trending. Um, this one takes a while to load in. This is good because it goes back mid-October for a month. Let me just see. Yeah, I can show there's a lot of volume here. So you can see here this number is the size of the file. So if I was to say looking at oil, yeah, you can see it's huge, much bigger than all the other ones we've looked at. But looking at price around $60, this is very flat. Um, Lots of activity here, bouncing around the RSI. Um, this moving average got killed. Um, Overall, oil's been killed long term. So I don't know. It's one of those unpredictable ones, and all I can say is it's a good tool to play around with. Anyways, I just wanted to show you some of the new capabilities here, specifically generating these type of quantitative reports. I think if you're just from a career point of view and you want to learn about how these are traded from a quantitative secret sauce point of view, as I said before, here you could just learn, and in here we can see some other opportunities like VIX might be another one a lot of people are not thinking about in terms of what's performing. So if I look for that, if it's VI, let's see, I mentioned that about a week ago, and it has been moving pretty good. Let's see if there's any form of VIX here. No, no, not mentioning anything about VIX, but just right here, uh, Australian dollar liquidity, Selenium monitor, all these metrics here on the FX or sorry on the HFT level. So really worthwhile to learn about here. Unfortunately, just the markets are very flat, and I think there is going to be looking some form of correction. Uh, Once that takes place, uh, when everything goes in the recovery, I think there's opportunity. Some might be worthwhile. It's silver. If we could find, we can see if we can find something like silver or gold. Um, I know with silver, let's see here. See, I don't see gold. Uh, there's some silver here, so maybe this is better. So let's let that run. Again, this is now spitballing. Because there's other ways I look at the market, not just through these reports. These could be considered like tools that are created by the AI, and I can just see things how they run. So here, silver, what's it, 50, 55. So you can see it's been bouncing around here, but it is on the up and up. But I think historically it's going to be like this. So there's a couple of ways to trade this. If let me just check on the other one. That's a silver, and then silver. That's probably why I didn't get listed in that generic PDF because it's not a looked upon as a top 10 mover based upon a walk forward analysis. So, but again, you can see right here. Let's see. Yeah, that's in around the big drop of price from 52 all the way down to 57. That's almost 10%. That big drop, but you can see long term it's trying to recover there, which it is. But again, these moving average crosses get screwed over pretty badly on these uh, trends when they just don't, where you're forecasting on something and then all of a sudden this exogenous event comes along and then throws it off. So even silver's a challenge to trade. But as I said, the other way to look at this is if you're doing trend following, this is a big but. I could say, okay, all of them look like they're not doing that well. I can then, say, well, the market's obviously regime switched, and I can just in these requests that I'm getting here, I could say, that's all based upon trend. What happens if I focus on mean reverting strategies and see how the HFT firms are trading um, market in a mean reverting way? Because there's three ways to look at the market. There's trends, there's the upward momentum trend, downward momentum trend, and the most difficult one that a lot of human traders can't really trade in is in a mean reverting, low level, low time frame uh, set of conditions. And if the markets are like that, then what I could do is just switch it out and say, hey, give me what are the strategies that these firms are using for mean reverting. So I could do that and build trading around that. So that I might do that as a next step as well. Seeing how the conditions are. Because as I said, I've only started this process in the last really 3 days. So from what I'm seeing, if there is no trend in the markets at all, yeah, I could switch it over to mean reverting and see what happens there. I could make uh, trading opportunity. That's probably what a lot of firms are doing on the market making on top of mean reverting type of strategies as well. So something else to consider. Anyways, lots of blabbing here. If you like what you're seeing, what I would recommend, a couple of recommendations now that we're in the Black Friday season. Just go onto my website, quantlabsnet.com. Join our our uh, our opt-in form here, and you can get yourself ebook, the infrastructure, how high frequency trading firms are trading that. The other thing is you go under learn as well. I don't release people's information. Couple of ways to look at this. You could go into the try. You want to see your style. Um, where outside of offering your credit card for 7 days to see how you like things. If you like it, then just uh, if you don't like it, just cancel within that 7 day period, and you're done. and you don't have to pursue anything further. But the thing is, I'm starting to realize a lot of people are liking what I'm doing, especially on YouTube. On the last stream I did for 3 hours, um, this is where it's at now, folks. Uh, so if you go under our plans, with what I'm showing you and the cost and the risks and the time, the research put in, we have this, which is kind of like a journalistic view of looking at the markets, more based upon fundamental and technical, the not so smart money bucket. Here is what we're talking about: generating the quantitative analysis, the low level uh, time frame stuff, uh, HFT stuff. I just talked about a minute arbitrage opportunity. I'd rather be in this bucket, but you can see the value of it right now. 2000 for the year. We have our Black Friday on, so we're offering it 75% off. That's going to give you access to everything on the website, everything I do, really, for the next year. If things work out the way they are, I do anticipate this price will go up a lot. And I say that because we have now getting a lot of attention from actual high speed trading firms out of the UK. We have just signed up a few people at some well known firms from that. I think they're just kind of poking around. These are senior people. Um, and Yeah, so the value builds because this is real low latency quant analysis. This is the real deal. I mentioned about the CME, another exchange. You could do the same thing on the euro, on the stocks, STOXX or URX or the ICE, which is all institutional level. I've talked about the C++, the JavaScript, Python as well from the coding perspective. So there's that. One of the big projects I don't really talk about a lot is the file share. The file share, if you are wanting to learn about this stuff, you just look at the Quant Leap programming. We have a C++ section 30, but this is the big one now. It's the Python, where I've taken institutional level models and I've already started adding them in. These are next generation. These are including quantum computing, uh, highly advanced crypto, a lot of research projects. We now have the ability to download the data. We do have the data through Rhythmic, and the option chain data, so I can analyze using a lot of these projects now in this quant modeling. So it's very advanced, very institutional level. So that's why this whole thing is going to go up in price. Collecting new libraries of what quants are asking, and using the AIs. I've shown you how to generate these really unique ways of looking at the market and specifically with the coding that comes with it. I just showed you right here. This is I've never seen this before. Actual uh, source code for FPGA now using VHDL from a Xilinx board. That's never been seen before. This is gas we're looking at. I think I got three here. So here let's just go through these. Through the Australian again. I'll be posting these because it does cost me money to generate these, but I'll gladly put these analysis in that group for the Quant Leap folks. Um, but you can see here we got some. I don't know if this is closure, if that's really closure, or that's just a random algo, but it's very like MIT SI SIFT feed. So this is the legal way of doing it. Sometimes we do get the illegal or questionable market making strategies, 5 layers of deception. To know about this from both CareerPoint, we have here Globex. Just again was it Australian dollar. Yeah, so this is Royal Bank of Australia. Um, all the different ways. So this is just quantitative, most advanced I know. All the algorithms mentioned here, with the triggering, the exit, You will not find this anywhere else. I can guarantee you that, folks. I've got literally, it seems like clowns on YouTube claiming to do HFT stuff with MetaTrader. I try to do this. I try to get this generated in TradingView. Um, no, it's a no go. But here, this one's on RB gas, I believe. Um, let's see here. M6A. So that's the micro Australian. Uh, yeah, it's just it could go on. I could go on about this. Pretty crazy stuff. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching, and have yourselves a good day.